Sa pagtatapos ng buwan ng Hunyo, because we are also celebrating Pride Month, I invited someone who gave so much pride sa ating bansa dahil sa kanyang world-class talent na kinilala internationally. He finally opens up about that little girl Charice who had to endure all the pain for Jake to finally be set free. Hi, Jake.
Thank you. Hello.
Parang it's been a long time, no?
I know.
Nung huli tayo nagkita, parang 2012?
Probably. Kasi,
2012,
yeah.
2013.
Tagaytay pa ba yun? So,
Oo,
that-
sa Tagaytay
that long.
ka pa nakatira.
Yes, that long.
Oo. I think that was the time na magta-transition ka pa lang.
I think that was the
To-
time, yes. That was the time na yung nag-come out ako first time.
Anong year ba yun?
I think I came out like 2013. So,
Yes, panahon ng The Buzz pa
yes,
yun.
the buzz, yes.
Bago natin balikan yung time ng 2013,
Mm.
balikan muna natin yung sobrang gandang nangyari sa iyo.
Yes.
Yung parang yung buong Pilipinas na recognize sino si Charice Pempenco
Yes.
at yung magnitude ng talent na meron ka nung time na yun, hindi ba? How old were you when you joined Little Big Star?
I was 12, yes, 12, 13, nag-join ako ng Little Big Star, and I remember, I think I think sa mall pa yata ako nag-audition.
Sa mall?
Sa mall yata yun, kasi yung mall na malapit sa amin, kasi from Laguna, lumaki ako sa Laguna.
Nung grand finals, ang nag-champion pa nun was Sam
Sam
Concepcion,
Concepcion.
right? Nung time na yun, parang naging matunog na yung boses ni Charice Pempenco sa buong Pilipinas kasi parang na-recognize na rin kung gaano kakahusay ng mga awit nung time na yun, hindi ba?
I think kasi before ako mag Little Big Star, laman na talaga ako ng mga amateur singing contest. So parang even before I start singing contest, 7 years old. So I never changed nung time na, I never changed yung name na Charice Pempenco eh. So nung time na yun, talagang yung name lagi kahit nung amateur singing
Matunog na
contest.
siya, no?
So until now, actually, like sometimes when I watch, halimbawa yung tawag ng tanghalan, ganyan, I still hear some contestants that say na nakalaban daw nila ako. And probably true, kasi halos na ano ko na eh, na talagang from Batangas, buong Batangas na yata, Laguna.
Parang
So,
halos lahat ng nationwide competitions
yes,
sinalihan
yes,
mo nung
totoo.
time na
And as in, umaabot ng 7 in the morning, yung mga competitions talaga. And nung nag-Little Big Star ako, there were some mga nakalaban ko before sa Little Big Star na parang ano na lang, uy, nandito ka pala. Like, kilala na
Familiar na-
familiar
na kayo sa
lahat.
isa't
Oo,
isa, kayo
familiar na sa isa't
nagkikita.
isa. Kasi like parang ano na, small world na yung mundo ng singing competition kahit sa TV.
Ilang taong ka nung lumabas sa'yo yung desire na gusto kong maging singer?
Nung bata ako, syempre, bata, so like my dream was like I just wanted to go to school and live like, you know, like a normal life.
Makagraduate, tapos maghanap ng
Makagraduate,
trabaho.
maghanap ng trabaho, ganyan, maybe business, ganyan. But yung desire na parang, okay, gusto kong maging like sikat na mga awit, that only came in my mind, syempre, nung na-discover na ako ng my own mother. I was singing on top of a table. The first song I learned was My Heart Will Go On. And nung tinitrain na niya ako, sumali na ako ng mga singing contest. Para, so ito yung path ko. It was more like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, until now, I still enjoy it. Until now, you know, it's my passion. But I never realized it until nung na-try ko na.
Nakakatuwa kasi sabi mo yung mga nung unang beses na kumakanta ka, ang mga unang kinakanta mo, My Heart Will Go On.
Yes, that's the first song.
May iisip mo ba in your life na mamimit mo yung original na kumanta mo?
Never. Never.
Sa lahat
Never.
ng kumanta na My Heart Will Go On, ikaw lang ang nakaduet ang original singer na si Celine Dion.
But never kong na-imagine. I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed na nabigyan ako ng opportunity. Na
Iba
Hindi
yung
ko-
mga
well, I had no
opportunity
idea
na nagbukas for you at that time. Iba yung mga doors na nag-open
Yes.
for Charice Pempenco at that time. David Foster,
Yes,
Oprah,
yes.
Ellen, Celine Dion. Yung global recognition ng boses na meron si Charice Pempenco. When did you feel na Jake was who you really are?
Probably a lot of people won't believe me, but I was 5 years old when I realized na I was really confused na parang
At 5 years old.
Yes, because I was grade 1 and I remember yung mga classmates ko like tinutokso ako dito sa isang classmate ko
Na babae,
na lalaki.
na lalaki.
And this one thing in my mind was bakit pareho kami?
At
And
5?
at 5 years old, that was my thought. So like sabi ko, and I obviously I didn't know any like labels or anything like that. So like I don't understand. And I remember my first crush grade 1, and it was a girl. So I remember at the time, sabi ko na parang, I don't understand. Bakit nila ako tinutokso dito? Ito yung gusto ko. And I literally thought na sabi ko na parang we're the same. And I remember, like my brother and I would sometimes like play some like kind of like role playing games where I would be his bodyguard. and like and I would give myself like names. Like I remember using like I can't remember like Jerick or something. But definitely I knew, but at the same time, alam kong there was something weird. Like sabi ko, weird, why am I, like I would look in the mirror, sabi ko, this is weird, like parang why am I feeling this way? And yet I'm seeing, someone different. So, growing up, that was always,
Parang an
yung
ongoing
struggle.
battle inside.
Yes,
That
everyday
was the
fight,
struggle.
everyday battle. And I remember syempre nung na-discover na Charice, like the global superstar Charice being on stage, David Foster and Friends, Oprah, Ellen. That was one of yung pain talaga kasi I did not want to sound ungrateful. I did not want people to feel na parang grabe naman, like para ayan na nga, 'di ba, nasa iyo na lahat. But from the beginning of yung nung na-discover, even before that, way before Little Big Star, it was there. It was always there.
Jake has always been there.
Yes, so the struggle ganyan, yung pain of like you're hiding yourself like towards before I transitioned, before I came out, like kumbaga like at the very end, like I was like talagang no, but at the same time it came to like the worst of the worst, like my mental health, suicidal, all those things. I tried to kill myself 3 times.
Ilang taon ka nun when you tried to kill yourself?
I think I was 18, 19 at the time, and I remember the
You
last
wanted
time.
to kill yourself because?
Yes, because nasa isip ko, pag nag-come out ako, it's over. And I didn't wanna, that's the thing, like yung nasa isip ko at the time was other people. I didn't want to disappoint them. Yeah, the fear of acceptance, I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to disappoint David. I didn't want to disappoint Oprah, my mother.
People's
obviously.
expectations.
Yes, the pressure of you fitting in as well. Like I remember standing in front of the mirror, like all these people around me, like, showing me photos of Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, like telling me na parang, oh, you gotta be like this, like you gotta do this, ganyan. Fitting in, it was hard, pressure. A lot of people thought na parang you get there, hearts, and chocolates, and flowers. No, like especially, like this month we're actually, di ba, like parang celebrating the Asian Heritage. It's Asian Heritage Month. That was also the case before. Being an Asian, lahat yun na naipon.
Nag-resurface.
Yes, nag-ipon sa utak ko, and naipon siya, and yun.
Hindi mo na ma-handle.
Hindi ko na ma-handle.
Kaya you wanted to end your life.
Hindi ko na
nung time na
ma-handle.
yun.
I tried, the first 2 times I tried it, I remember waking up at the hospital being upset. Na parang, I remember talking to God, like parang, what? Why? And then the 3rd time, and I'm telling you, when you feel that moment that you want to kill yourself, it's like, it's scary. It's scary because you can't feel pain at all. Because your mind and your heart is decided. So it's not something that you want to be in.
It's a very dark place.
It's a very dark place. And I'm saying this not because I experienced it 3 times and I want to be able to share it to other people who might be going through it's a very, 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 very bad place to be. Because the moment that you feel that, it's like parang you don't see anything else anymore. You don't feel anything else anymore. You just have one thing that's decided na nasa, like right in front of you, end it. And the last time I did it, I remember I woke up at a hospital and David was there.
David Foster.
Yes. David was there, and
Anong sinabi niyo sa'yo?
and we had a show that night. And I remember I woke up, it was like morning, it was in Singapore. And he was there. I opened my, he was the first person I see there, and he was like, are you okay? Do you think you can perform? You don't have to. And I remember looking at him with talagang worried siya, and he knew why. It's like we you know, like we weren't naman like talking like super, you know, like personal, but definitely he was one of the first
few
people
people
na
na
come out, nakaalam. And he knew that I was having a hard time, and I remember nakahiga pa rin ako dun sa bed, and I told him na, nope, I'm gonna perform tonight. And I remember him just a small gesture from him, you know, like telling me, you know what, yeah, for tonight, you don't have to wear a dress or something. So that day, I went out. It's on YouTube. Probably everyone's gonna look for it. But it's the performance ng David Foster and Friends sa Singapore. And I was wearing pants. I was wearing a sneakers or something, and braided hair and all that. And that was the first time that, you know, like they let me wear something like that, and it was a big deal for me. And I remember being just comfortable.
When all this was going on, hindi to alam ng public yung inner struggle na meron ka.
No. I remember when the last one happened in Singapore, I remember some people saw me sa lobby, wheelchaired, and I think the news that came out was I had food poisoning. Yeah.
Alam mo, sabi ni Carolyn Mize, she's a spiritual teacher. Sabi niya, the most painful betrayal doesn't come from your family, doesn't come from your friends, doesn't come from people you know. The most painful betrayal comes from betraying oneself.
Yes.
So all these times, since you were 5 years old till you reached the age of 18, you felt like you were betraying yourself.
That's it. Yes.
That's why there was so much pain. Because you couldn't be who you really wanted to be at that time.
And I'm aware that, you know, like until now, it's still, every day is still, you know, a battle for me, because I definitely understand that some people have, you know, like different beliefs and understanding, opinions. We all have different religions, beliefs in our lives, opinions. But sa akin, if you don't understand me, then maybe just be kind to me. You know, I think that's the most important thing, and not even just for LGBT, for, you know, like just for everything. Sometimes there are things that wala namang perfecto, so lahat tayo mayroon tayong hindi maintindihan eh.
Sometimes it's more important to be kind than to be right.
Yes.
Diba?
Yes.
Because
Super.
I remember nung time na yun, I was still doing the buzz, and ang daming opinion, no? There was so much noise, so much judgment, so much of people's perception, assumptions, di ba? Ang daming boses.
Sobra. And the things, it wasn't even, kumbaga kine-carry ko na yung, you know, yung inner betrayal na nafe-feel ko. At the same time, like parang yung pressure from other people as well, na parang, I remember, you know, like the first time na nag-Ellen ako, like one of the things that people talked about was, you know, my English, ganyan. Siyempre, until now, hindi naman ako ganong, you know, like fluent, pero it was one of those like pressure na parang, my God, now I have to, you know, like parang fit in din, na kailangan maayos akong magsalita, maayos akong manamit, kailangan ganito. I remember there was a video that came out nung bago pa yung YouTube, that I was eating somewhere, and then, you know, I was really hungry, so like I was eating, and then like came out on YouTube like saying patay gutom and all that, you know. So like, and that, another insecurity. Kaya lang ako napuno kasi syempre may iba pa eh. May iba
underlying
pang, may iba pang pinanggagalingan na struggle. So, yeah.
Kailan dumating yung point na hindi na importante sa akin kung ano ang magiging consequence ng gagawin ko, but I have to be true to myself?
The first time I came out was 2013, but it was very complicated because I was still thinking of kung ano yung alam ng tao. And I remember nung time na yun, hindi pa ganun na pag-uusapan yung mga transgender, yung pagta-transition, ganyan. And so I remember, di ba dito sa Philippines, like most of the time na napag-usapan, gay, lesbians, and that's pretty much it, so and automatic na parang I thought na pag nag-come out ako as a lesbian and like I wear boy clothes or I cut my hair, I thought like that was it, that people were like, it was very complicated because at the time I just wanted to come out so bad, but when I came out as a lesbian, it wasn't enough. Sabi ko, it's because now like everyone's like trying to like educate me na parang, oh, lesbian, so that means she, so that means ganito, ganyan. And it mattered to me, obviously. I just remember telling myself na hindi ko na kayang lumabas ng bahay or magtrabaho na alam kong, again, nag-come out nga ako, but it still felt like I was betraying myself. Like, this is not it. This is
You
not
were
it.
betraying yourself dahil?
Because it's like I came out as, a lesbian because parang naisip ko lang na ito yung maiintindihan ng mga tao. So it felt like I wasn't just betraying myself, but I was betraying people as well, like not telling them the whole truth. Again, syempre, pag meron kang tinatago pa rin sa sarili mo, napupuno ka. And I reached that point and I said na parang, I can't remember if, I think it was a concert and it was supposed to be the last concert of Charice. Very last concert of Charice.
Anong year yun?
I think it was 2016. I think 2016.
Oh, Charice ka pa noon when you came out.
But short hair, yeah.
So 2016, you were about to do parang a final show
Yes,
for
a final
Charice.
show for Charice,
Parang
yes.
the final curtain for
Yes,
Charice.
yes.
Pero hindi siya natuloy.
Hindi siya natuloy kasi at the time, like parang, syempre emotionally, and I was dealing with my mental health as well, and I'm still dealing with it right now. I have, anxiety, depression, and all that, and at the time, sobrang worse siya. I remember just, like one day, just not being able to get up. It's like my mind was telling me na parang, let's go, let's do it. But at the same time, it's like having different voices in your head na parang, nope, you can, So nung time na yun, I knew I had to do that last concert, but at the same time, it's like I wasn't ready and I was done. I was done.
You were done with Charice.
Yes. Sabi ko na, so when I decided to transition, it was very easy. The only hard part nung transitioning, syempre, was thinking of kung ano yung sasabihin ng mga tao. But the process itself was very much sobrang madali. I remember I had my top surgery and I looked down. It was flat. I remember, flat na yung chest ko. And I remember just being happy. It was like my birthday, like every day. Just having the people around me that, supported me. And it was definitely one of the best days of my life. And, and the moment I transitioned, the moment na nag-undergo na ako ng hormone change and all that, like I would still, like talk about, what happened before, like Charice and all that. And again, like I'll always be grateful. I enjoyed yung experience, the people yung mga tao na nakilala ko, and I'm grateful that until now, like I'm still able to get in touch with them, with David.
Grabe yung mga taong nakilala ni Charice. Mga hindi namin nakilala yan. Napapanood lang namin yun sa TV. Yung mga nakilala ni Charice sa Oprah and David Foster.
But if you think about it, it's it's sobrang ano na ngayon, kasi before, iba yung, di ba, nung na-discover ako, bago pa lang yung YouTube, yung Twitter, yung Instagram.
Yeah.
It's definitely different now, like and the way I see it, we have, talking about Asian, we have BTS, and like now we're trying to like put the OPM,
out there.
There. So like parang for me, like parang definitely any time of the day, any time of day, I know that someone out there will get to experience everything.
The same thing that you
yes,
experienced.
you know, and that's why I always say na when some, like some say, like up and coming, artists and stuff, sana ma-experience it. You will. You will. Especially now that the social media sobrang laking platform na para ma-discover, ganyan. Everything is possible now, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just really happy that I get to, experience like being
You're
the first on
the first.
like Ellen, the first on Oprah, the first on, and it'll be forever, in my heart, and that'll, always be me, whether Jake or Charice.
Bakit Jake ang napili? Jake Zyrus. Sino ang namili dun sa name na yun?
Actually, I did, but it was more of a stage name. The first thing I thought actually was Zyrus, just Zyrus without Jake, and then I thought, yeah, but why not, like add one, because I can, because like I'm free to do this. I was very excited. I don't know why I thought about Jake, to be honest. Like the name just came in my mind, and obviously the Zyrus came in my mind, but definitely not because of Miley Cyrus.
Na-meet mo ba si Miley Cyrus?
Yes, I did.
Oh, talaga?
She was very quiet.
Grabe yung mga na-meet mo naman.
But Jake will always be, like, say if I change my legal name,
Yun ang gusto mo?
a second name, yes. And the first one, syempre, sa akin na lang.
Sa'yo na yun, yung private
Yes,
name na yun. Alam mo, there was a time, when you were transitioning from Charice to Jake Zyrus,
Yes.
na it was very noisy. Pati yung love life mo, the issue with your mom.
Yes.
Parang everything was out in the public, Tapos at one point, nag-subside lahat ng ingay. And then, wala na kaming balita kay Jake Zyrus. Parang you kept your distance
Yes.
sa public.
Yes.
Di ba? Ngayon
Yes.
ka na lang namin uli nakita.
Yes, yes.
Di ba?
Actually, it's so good that you noticed that, because that's exactly what I did. Because, my relationship right now, nung bago pa lang kami, kasi nag-transition din ako at the time, also had a new love life and all that. I think my partner and I like kind of like got in an agreement na parang we enjoy like somehow, just, like we share pictures and all that, but not like literally sharing, like everything, and somehow we enjoyed that. And, yes, like I kept my distance, like just trying to be silent with all the crazy things that happened like in the past few years, like lahat lagi like online,
Nasa news.
nasa news, ganyan. It kind of like parang nalunod yung kung ano talaga yung gusto kong gawin, which is music, And I felt like parang sa sobrang ingay nung, say, like the family problems or the love life and all that, like parang nawawala na yung focus dun sa kung ano talaga yung gusto kong gawin, which is, I just want to share music. Somehow, like parang nagkaroon pa ako ng parang konting fear na parang every time may mafe-feel ako na parang, like lalabas sa public, like, I don't know, like a family problem or something. Like, ooh.
Parang feeling ko it comes
get
with
away.
maturity. Na alam mo na yung what to share and what to keep
Yes. I
private for
think
yourself.
so too. Yes.
Oo.
Yes.
Kasi nagulat ako, alam niyo, 29 years old na si Jake Zyrus. Sa mata ko, parang lagi siyang 18 years old pa rin. Kaya ngayon nakausap ko siya, grabe, 29 na siya.
It's different now. I remember being, like most of the time, like always angry, like always kind of like mad, like
Galit ka
galit
sa
sa
lahat.
mundo, you
Galit
know what
sa
I'm saying?
mundo.
Like always thinking na parang, like looking around, it's like, oh, they hate me, you know what I'm saying? Like parang,
Husgahan nila ako.
yes, but I think that's also like one of the reasons why it's maybe not exactly like staying away from everything, but I personally think na parang na-enjoy ko yung peaceful, like peaceful living, doing things here and then, but at the same time just
Ano na yung music ni Jake ngayon?
um,
May bago ka, di ba?
yes, actually there's a new song that's gonna come out. It's called Fix Me, and
Uy!
it's
Talaga nga naman ang mga... Ayan na si Jake. Fix me!
but it's produced by my kapatid Troy Lareta, which actually released an album nila a couple of months ago called Kaibigan, like the OPM Collective album, which ang mga nilagay niya yung mga foreigners singing Tagalog.
Oh, nice.
And I was part of it as well. But yes, I'm gonna release this song Fix Me And basically, like having someone in your life that you think that could, like fix everything, like in your life. And like basically, like, parang the song is like saying na parang I'm not perfect.
Kasi if
like
you need to be fixed, you must be broken. Diba?
very much so.
So, so ikaw naman ang tatanungin ko, who fixed you?
Oh. Aside from God, probably my life experience.
Hindi ka lang niya na-fix. It shaped you,
Yes.
molded you, transformed you.
Yes.
Tama ba?
Yes. Kasi syempre, I have people around me who supported me, but I think talagang yung nag-fix ng lahat is the love from God. And then that's when I realized na, it's very rare that I talk about my faith. When I experienced all those struggles, I became more closer, closer to God, because I remember also before that, like being away, being in that dark place, like I lost my dad, like I lost a lot of people in my life. And I remember just, like parang thinking, telling myself, I'm gonna stay away from this, I'm gonna stay away from, like praying and all that. I don't think that's for me. I mean, obviously, people are making me feel that I don't belong here, that wala akong access, na hindi ako pwedeng magdasal, na hindi
May
ako
ganun?
pwedeng. I just told myself, and I feel like, that was God telling me that you cannot let anybody stop you or not give you any access to me. And that's for you to think it's okay kung yan yung opinion mo, but para sa akin, doon ko na-realize na whoever you are not gonna take away my access to God.
Gaya nga ng sinabi ni Jake, mas mabilis tayong manghusga kaysa umunawa. Wala namang mawawala sa atin kung pipiliin nating maging mabuti sa ating kapwa. Matapos ikwento sa atin ni Jake ang kanyang pinagdaanan, na-realize ko na walang anumang karangyaan o katanyagan sa mundo ang magpapasaya sa iyo kung hindi ka magpapakatotoo sa sarili mo.